Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Wake Up Show Chicago. My name is Dr. Larry Ivory, and I am the host. I'm president and CEO of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce and chairman of the board of the National Black Chamber of Commerce. And it is my distinct pleasure to introduce my co host and my producer, the one and only, the incredible LaDonna Raeh.
Well, good morning, Dr. Ivory, and a good morning it is. That's right. I am Dr. LaDonna Raeh, right here on not the afternoon show, the Wake Up Show Chicago. I tell you,
Got to
but
be hats on.
man, I tell you. So here's the thing. I am also the president and managing partner of Ray Digital. I am part of the core team, and I am of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, and of course, we are sponsored by the Wind Creek Chicago Southland, and we're brought to you by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. So there's a lot of things, a lot of information you guys can write down. But the one thing I want you guys to have for sure is our website, and that's ilbcc.org. ilbcc.org. Our website is fabulous. It is just launched this week. Our new and improved look and feel, guys. You tell us what you think, and certainly leave your information on there. Also, I want to make sure that you guys share the show. We're on Facebook Live and we're also on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and share the show. This is inevitable. We need definitely people to have put the word out there and make sure everybody knows that we are running things with it when it comes to business. Okay. Uh, Larry, today's Bud Billiken Parade Day.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It is the Bud Billiken Parade. It's an incredible event in Chicago, the Donna. And, I wish I was there in Chicago with you
Mm.
uh, to celebrate the Bud Billiken. I've been in it several times, and it's just an incredible, when you see all these wonderful people come out, Black people. I
Mm.
mean, I said, if I could just get a penny from every one of them, I'd be a millionaire.
Oh, I know that's right. Wow. And a lot of times we've heard quite a few times that they threatened to end the Bud Billiken Parade, but for generations, this parade has been bigger than floats, bands, and celebrities. It number one, it represents children, back to school time, our families, our neighborhood, our culture, and the idea that our young people deserve to be celebrated and encouraged as they head back to school. I got a surprise for you, Larry.
Okay, okay. I'm excited.
All right. Well, WVON is out there, baby. That's right. We got Annette Flournoy out there. She's live, boots on the ground. I definitely want to hear what's going on real quick, Annette. Annette, welcome to the Wake Up Show Chicago. There she. I'm not hearing her.
To be.
There she is. Hey,
Yes, you will.
Annette.
I'm here. Can you hear me, hon?
I can hear you absolutely. What's going on at the Bud Billiken Parade?
Okay. All right. Good. Now we're connected.
Oh, I hear it. Yeah, tell us more. All right, Annette. I'm hearing background noise, but I'm not hearing
Yeah. It
you.
looks like I'm. It looks like I'm back in full effect. Well, as I was saying, so
Yeah.
it's electrifying out here. I mean, this place right here. I am somewhere in the 4,000 block of South King Drive, and it has been just wonderful all morning long. There's picnic chairs lined on both sides already. Barbecue grills are flaring. I'm right now downwind from one giant barbecue grill. Families out here. This is about celebrating the culture, celebrating, as you were talking about, as children are going back to school. It started out early this morning with a VIP breakfast. And, of course, this is election year. So with that being said, this is the place to be for politicians all the way from the governor's office, Senate races, down to our local races that we're going to be having next year, mayoral race, all of the automatic races. So we're going to see a lot of dignitaries out here today. Picnic chairs, as I said, everywhere. Of course, as always, the Jesse White Tumblers
Oh,
and
yeah.
the South Shore Drill Team. And, of course, our lovely Grand Marshal, Hollywood actress Lisa Ray McCoy, Lisa Ray. She actually broke on WVON the fact that she was going to be the Grand Marshal before it was even announced. And she
She
did that
sure
on the Rufus
did.
Williams show. So we were proud of that. And it is just a beautiful day. Family, culture, food. And I'm going to tell you, it
And
is the
black
most
folks.
peaceful environment that I've been in all day. And I'm going to say this real quickly, and I'm going to let you go. This morning, just walking down the last 3 blocks, I have not passed one person that didn't say hello or didn't
Oh,
say
I
good
love
morning.
it.
It is all about family out here, good vibrations, love and support, and all about celebrating Black culture.
Well, Larry told me something that I didn't know, that the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce used to participate in the Bud Billiken Parade. Tell her what you told me, Larry.
No. I mean, I want to get it straight because I don't want someone to say he is
Okay, okay.
absolutely wrong.
Uh-oh.
Is that we were a part of it and been invited as VIPs to the Bud. This was years ago when the I can't think of his major. The gentleman who was one of the iconic figures on the Bud Billiken Parade, and we've been involved several different times. It's just been a
Yeah.
great experience for everybody.
Well, thank you so much,
Good
Annette,
morning.
for giving us that vision of what's going on out there at the parade. It's not too late for people to head on out there. Thank you so much, Annette.
Oh, you are so
I
welcome.
hear
It's my
I hear
pleasure.
Kayla's
We'll be
out
out
there too.
here
Kayla's
talking.
out there
Pardon me?
too. Kayla.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, we got WVON out there. All right, cool. I'll let you go. Thanks, Annette. All right. Well, you know what, Larry, one reason why I wanted to begin there at the Bud Billiken Parade is because it's about legacy. We're celebrating children who will inherit whatever economy we build for them. And that brings me directly to what I want to talk about for the rest of this hour and what you want to talk about for the rest of this hour. And that is September 9th and the 10th. The Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce is bringing entrepreneurs, corporations, government agencies, business leaders, and decision makers together at Wind Creek Chicago Southland for its annual conference. The theme is, drumroll, no longer divided. Come on, Larry. You smile when I say that. No longer divided. What does that mean?
Well, you know, LaDonna, we give considerable thought to what our team is going to be based upon the environment, what we think really resonates in terms of what we're going through. And I think in this environment, one of the key factors is that we can't stop everything that's happening in Washington, D.C., and we can't always stop what's happening in Illinois. But what we can do is that we can understand when we're together, we're stronger than we ever can be if we're by ourselves. And so this year, the chamber is reaching out to our partners. You'll see our partners, whether it be the BLC, whether it be the Black Contracts United, whether it be BCO, a host of other organizations that will be highlighted, throughout the conference at the same time. Some will be getting awards like the Joseph Business Center. Dr. Dolores Thomas will be our speaker. We also have, iconic figures who will be coming in and speaking. We got the one and only John Rogers who will be speaking, and he's going to have a special guest with him. I won't mention his name yet until we get an official confirmation, which we think we'll have today or by Monday. But he's an NBA basketball star and a business icon at the same time. So it's going to be a great event. No longer divided is about coming together, LaDonna. When we come together, we're stronger. And I always make this comment. Synergy is what our parents couldn't do by themselves. They couldn't have created you. Your mother couldn't create you by herself, and neither could your father create you by herself. It took both of them coming
Well,
together.
let her tell it.
But
Let her tell it. It depends on who you're asking.
but beyond that point is that the whole concept of that is, when we come together, there are certain things we can't do by ourselves. When we come together, we're stronger, we're better, and we can be more impactful. And so, really, this is a olive leaf to Black organizations all across the country to come together, unite on a common goal. And the common goal that we have uh, among all those organizations that we'll be highlighting is that we understand the gravity of the situation, that
Mhm.
Black businesses in the state of Illinois and throughout the country, when you take a look at our data, we are not, we're at the bottom of the totem pole.
Mm.
Now, we can talk about that all day, or we can do something about it. And this convention is designed to help us do something about it.
Okay.
And
Well,
that's what the chamber is committed to.
Well, you know how you've gone to those conventions where people are super excited. Like, we definitely want to get everybody excited and fired up. I know that, another convention, this is not just another convention. Number one, I've been to so many of them and I've benefited from all of them. And I want to talk about why being in certain rooms matter. Don't forget, go to ilbcc.org. You'll see the event that's coming up. But when you're in those rooms, you're asking yourself before heading that way, where are the opportunities? When you're a business, I think people feel compelled to know everything. I'm a business owner, I should know everything. But at the end of every movie, there's a ton of credits. And if your credit is one person, then you are doing too much, but you still got to get it done. And that's why you partner with someone like the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce so that you can partner with everyone else that's within that pool. So, why these rooms matter. Larry, tell us about some of these workshops that we're going to have.
Well, I'll start off, LaDonna, where we're going to kick the event off with obviously a continental breakfast, but it's going to be matchmaking. So
Hmm.
we have identified over 25 different companies and organizations and government agencies to come and sit with business owners who've registered for the conference. If you didn't register for the conference, you're not at the table.
Mm.
And it gives you an opportunity, a real legitimate opportunity. And we emphasize to everybody who comes and becomes a partner of the matchmaking, whether that be ComEd, whether that be NICOR, whether that be any number of companies from Department of Correction to the IDOT to the tollway. All of these people are coming here for one reason alone, and that is to help identify opportunities for African American business owners. That's what the purpose is. And we created some unique things this year, LaDonna, that I'm pretty excited about because, you go to matchmaking and we have, you'll see a bunch of testimonies of individuals from all across the state who talk about the matchmaking as being one of the highlights of the conference because they went expecting something. And quite frankly, I was really surprised at the number of people who said, Larry, hey, I went to the conference and we really didn't know until we talked to them that, hey, I got a contract from the corporate, I got a contract from this place. And you start hearing people talk about the contract that they had and why they continue to show up because there's always this opportunity where they can take their product or their services and get it in front of someone that can buy that product or utilize that service. And that's a game changer for them. And so
Hmm.
that's really one of the big highlights of the conference is to get there. Now, what we're doing this year that's different, LaDonna, that I'm excited about is that we're incentivizing uh, our partners who are there to identify Black businesses they want to do business with. We're tracking their success. And in tracking their success, we're going to, at the end of 11 months, we're going to highlight those companies who have performed the best doing business with African Americans. And when we say highlight, it means that if our event September and August, we will have a social media blitz celebrating those.
1, 2, 3, go!
All right. So, those of you that are on Facebook Live and YouTube, you'll see the video from last year. Ooh, I didn't know the sound would come on, but go ahead, Larry. The sound came on as well.
Hey,
We're getting them fired
Steve,
up for real.
hey, but going back, what we were saying is that
Yeah.
we're really letting our partners know, the people who are there to do business with African Americans, we're going to track and we're going to incentivize that if you do business with someone that we're at the conference and register for the conference, you will get triple points. And those triple points will go towards being identified as some of the best in class. And what we're going to do is we're going to celebrate them, not just in our social media platforms, which we got 12 of them. We're also going to do radio. newspaper, and TV celebrating. And then we're doing a gala after that to highlight those who really understand the importance of doing business with African Americans. That's one of the incentives that we're doing here today. And I'm excited about that because we want people not just to come to the conference, we want people to have an experience where they're making money because this is what this is all about. When you take time off of your work, you want to come to a place where there's opportunities, where you learn something that you wouldn't have learned, and you meet some people that could actually change your life. So that's one of the real highlights of the conference, LaDonna, is that matchmaking session that we do. And I can give you some more highlights of some of the companies, and I'll come back to that. I'll come back
Okay.
to
All right.
that.
Well, a small business owner has fear of missing out on business. But what about a small business owner that should have fear of missing out on getting the right business? Sometimes if you have one contract, that contract can be a game changer for the entire trajectory of your business, period. But a small business owner can be excellent at what they do and still never grow beyond a certain point because they don't know who buys what they sell. They don't know who controls the contracts. They don't know who can introduce them or what certifications matter, what procurement officers are actually looking for, or even how procurement works. And they may not know who is looking for subcontractors. So
Yeah,
on September 9th, I want to make sure that the conference opens up with 3 hours of one-on-one information from people that are attending the conference. I say one-on-one because you're going to be sitting there with your note takers. You're going to be hanging on every word, including the welcome reception and then going into the panels. And I'm excited about the AI panel as usual.
absolutely. Hey, LaDonna, well, the AI plan is going to be off the chain. It's going to be, I'll let you explain kind of the energy. The AI panel is not just talking about whether AI is good, bad, or different. This is about practical things that you ought to be doing with your businesses to accelerate the growth of your business by understanding these things and how to use them effectively so you can gain a competitive advantage in the marketplace. So we don't want to be the last adopters of AI. We want to be in front of it instead of back of it, quite frankly. So we're excited about that panel among many other panels that we're going to be having at the conference this year, which I think will be pretty exciting. But I want to highlight one other thing. When we talk about the conference, we're going to have access to capital, which, again, if you're talking about growing a business, you got to have access to capital. I cannot imagine how many black businesses died in their grave, not because didn't have a good idea. It's simply they didn't have
Mm.
capital by which to fund it. They went to the family, they went to everybody they could find, and they just wasn't there to get the capital. And so the dream died and the vision failed because of lack of access to capital. We know that's a critical factor. That's why we're going to have the SBA and bankers there to talk about how to build a relationship with your banker, why that's important, and how to make sure that you got your finances in order so that when you walk into the bank, you're ready. Now, every business don't need that. We got some businesses who got that all together, but there's a lot of small businesses, Donna, who don't have that together, that are struggling and find themselves at a point where they can't get access to capital because they don't have their stuff together. We want to make sure that doesn't happen and that we want to eliminate that or at least reduce the failure rate that we have when we go into a bank or into an institution where we need capital.
Many times we hear this over and over again. We want to make sure that doesn't happen. We don't work together. We hear all of this all of the time. But there are some people that you Google, and then there are some people that you follow on LinkedIn. And then there are opportunities when you can actually sit in the room and hear what they think. Cuz let's be honest. When you are on camera, okay, and when you are putting up your, let's say, your best bio, everything looks dandy, it looks perfect, but being able to hear people on the spot in the room, how that is a valuable situation in proximity to that person who has already built what you're trying to build. Now, I have a question for you. Do you think we underestimate mentorship? Because we're
Oh,
always looking for the money.
well, I think that we underestimate it, and I think and sometimes perhaps we don't understand the enormous value it gives us to check in with people who have been successful and
Mm-hmm.
who have knowledge and expertise. It's like our kids. Um, you know, it used to be a time when the elders talk, the kids just listen. Now my son just is waiting for an opportunity to jump in. As soon as he finds a pause, he wants to jump in and tell me all the things that he knows.
Your
Yeah,
son waits for a pause? Because mine doesn't.
mine doesn't wait for it either. Doc.
I'm like, I'm still talking. What are you doing?
But see, there's something to be said about listening and having someone you can call when you have a problem. And this creates an opportunity because one of the things when we surveyed our members is that what would make the conference even more attractive? What did you like the most about it? What came up consistently was the fact, the opportunity to do business. And second, the mentorship, the
Mm-hmm.
ability to talk to people who have been in business for 20 years, 25 years, and to build a relationship. And they said that was invaluable in terms of their experience because they built a relationship with someone that they could talk to. Because sometimes, we're on an island by ourselves and we suffer in silence. But when we began to broaden our horizons and connect with people, and it's like you and I, your connection, my connection, I'm better off by knowing you. Because when I want to get something marketing done, instead of me struggling and trying to get it done, which may take a month or 2 months, I can call LaDonna and it's done overnight within an hour. Well, that makes me stronger, better because you're bringing something to the table that helps me to achieve my objective, and that hope same thing that I bring some value to you when there's certain things that you need that we all bring that together. So what we're trying to really do is create this
LaDonna.
ecosystem where
Yeah.
people are helping each other and really concentrating. And I want to emphasize no longer divided because we have some great organizations. We're going to be giving the Black Contractors United an award. They've been around for a long time fighting the construction battle. Kareem Broughton, is the president, is going to be accepting that award on behalf of the organization, wherever he deems appropriate. We're also going to be giving Joseph Business Center an award for their legacy. And from the spiritual side, when you take a look at Pastor Bill Winston, what he was able to accomplish, but more importantly, his commitment to grow 100,000 business to $1 million. That's a goal that we share, that most Black business organizations ought to share and ought to be working together. So we're coming together so that we can do those things at BICO and all the other organizations. So you're not only going to get a flavor of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, you're going to get a flavor of people in different organizations who have different resources that you can benefit from. It is the ultimate um, conference, in my opinion, where you can come in, meet people, have opportunities, and then walk away with great relationships at the same time. That's it. I mean, that's the thing that you want to do. And I want to give you this something that just recently happened with Donna. I'm gonna stray away from just a moment. I had a call yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
One of the guy, he was a trucker. He called me up and said, "Larry, I went down and talked to this person. They're doing trucking in the Black community, and I went and talked to them that we wanted to make sure Black truckers were working. And he pretty much told me, the guy told me, which is named Joe, he told me that that wasn't happening, that they had hired someone else. And he was kind of got into a little bit of conversation. And the guy ultimately he said, well, I'm going to call someone. He said, well, you can call who you want to call. And so he called me, and I was a little bit offended by that. So what did I do? I got on the phone, called the president of this major company, called the president and said, look, I got a little problem. I said, I'm like, just explain this. I don't want to escalate this to the next level, but I need you to understand this is important to me and important to my community, and you're working in my community. And him and I had a very candid conversation. The next day, the gentleman who had the problem called me up and said, Larry, they called me up and apologized and told me that I will be on that job site, that they're going to make everything right by me. And there's no question about it. So that same guy who said, we don't care who you call, he cared who he called. And that's the power of the chamber. We do this every day. We open doors that would normally be shut because, quite frankly, if he was by himself, it would have went down
Right.
the way it went down. He wouldn't have got, they would have said, so what? What are you going to do? You're not going to do anything.
Yeah. Well,
And
I
and I
mean,
was
I know that feeling. I was just gonna. I know how it feels to be on an island by yourself. Now, I'm not talking about my previous marriage, but I'm just saying. I know what it feels like to be in business and not know who to call. But that's and I've been. I was gonna tell you. I just hit my 10-year anniversary with the chamber. I started with you guys, us, in 2016. So it's been
2016.
10 years.
Yeah. Hey, it doesn't seem that long, Madonna.
Uh,
But your family. If well, in one way, it doesn't feel that long, but in a lot of ways, it feels like we've always worked together. Quite
yeah,
frankly.
that's true.
And
That's
and
true.
that's the beauty of the relationship. So really what you want to do when you come to you want to build relationships. You want to find people, build relationships. And we brought a lot of very powerful people to the table.
Wait, I got a question for you. What's the difference between networking and relationship building?
Well, let's see if I can take a stab at that, Madonna.
Hmm.
Networking is where you go to an event and you get a chance to pass out cards, you meet some people, and hopefully it develops a relationship. Relationship is after the fact. That's where it happens. When you have a relationship where you can call on someone. Networking, I get a chance to see you, I get a chance to shake your hand, and maybe there's an opportunity for me to develop a relationship. The relationship is after the fact. It's where it really happens where you can call people. I can call Frank Clark when I want to. I can call John Rogers. I can call different people around the country. I can call Nigel on Capitol Hill. We can call all kinds of people. And the beauty of being a part of the family, the more people you got with you, the more you can protect yourself.
That's true. Because when we went to lobby day, what a
Mhm.
difference a day makes. When I said I was with the chamber, first I said I'm LaDonna and I live in this district, and blah, and they were like, okay, I'll go over there. When I said I'm here with the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, it was like, hold on, big difference.
Big difference. So let me go over
I
this.
want to. I have a lot of questions for you, Larry, so that
Go
people
ahead.
can understand. I know the conference is great. I get it, but why do Black businesses sometimes network with everybody except the people who can actually buy from them or us? I'm Black. Why
Well,
do we
that's
network with everybody else?
I don't know if I'm not certain, LaDonna. Give me more examples of that because I think most business people are trying to find anyone who wants to buy their product, goods, and services.
Well, think about it. Networking events, right? We
Mhm.
run to the hills and we think that we're out there because we have a stack of business cards. It's almost like saying, my kitchen is dirty. I'm going to go to the store and buy a mop, a bucket, and some Pine Sol. But if I never put it all together, then and actually put some elbow grease into cleaning that floor, it won't get clean. I think we do a lot of activity, so when
Mhm.
we go and do activity, networking activity, and not follow up, follow through, that's when we're just networking with everyone except the ones that would buy from us. The biggest thing that I hate to hear is when I just the other day, I got a story for you. It's a short one. I spoke to a gentleman that I had created so much. I did the logo, the branding, all the branding package, everything, the marketing, and he was great, off to the races. And when I asked him if he wanted a website, he was like, "Yeah, I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready." Well, here it is 2 years later. Yes, 2 years. And he says, "Hey, listen, can you get a non-disclosure agreement to me so that I'll pay you so I can get this guy to get my website going." Website? I looked in my notes and I realized you told me you weren't ready, but you're going to go to somebody else that doesn't know your business. Was that my fault or his? That was my fault. I'll answer it
Mhm.
because I hadn't talked to him. I have to continue to cultivate that relationship so that when he is ready, that he's ready
Mhm.
to call me to do what he needs done at that time. Because as a business owner, I'm thinking about what I need right now, not who can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm thinking about what I need. There's the ad, I'm calling them. And how many entrepreneurs, here's another example. How many entrepreneurs walk into procurement conversations unprepared because they don't understand what the buyer actually needs?
Absolutely. So let me give you another example now. As most people know who know me, I was in the investment banking business with Merrill Lynch and then with Solomon Smith Barney under Citigroup. And all of there were a lot of mutual fund holders that would come and present. And if you came and you present to Merrill Lynch and you bought lunch, um, and you had a chance to pitch that mutual fund
Mm-hmm.
because each broker had a right to sell whatever mutual fund they decided they wanted to sell. But you were going to remember the last person that impressed you that came by. If the ones who were out of sight, out of mind. Now all of them had similar performance, and I dare say none of them had performance like one of the best performing mutual funds out there on a consistent basis, steady Eddie, is Ariel Capital. But
Mm-hmm. Oh,
when
John Rogers, say his
John,
name.
yeah, John
And
Rogers,
Melody Hobson.
Mary Hobson, every portfolio and every pension fund should have a little bit of aerial capital in it because one iconic figure, African American, did some incredible things, but incredible performance, regardless of whether he was black or not. The performance of his of the mutual funds that he represented is outstanding, quite frankly. And so, if you have any control of pension, and if you got money, you ought to tell someone, "Hey, look, you ought to have. Well, I want aerial capital to be a part of my pension fund." But getting beyond that, this is all about us as a people, in my opinion, empowering. Because what bothers me, what keeps me up at night, is when I take a look at the numbers of black businesses and how many who have employees in comparison to Hispanics, in comparison to Asians, in comparison to white. We are way behind. And that's been consistent. I believe that there is a strategy, in my opinion, to keep black people down by keeping black business down. And if you undermine black business, you undermine black growth and economic. Because when black people have success and wealth, they give back to the urban leagues. They give back to the organizations they knew and grew up with. When a white guy who's never experienced that, and I ain't mad at him because that's not his experience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect him to understand what I understand. I don't expect him to see what I see. I mean, it's ridiculous for me to think that. But when we create growth, when we help each other grow and expand their business and move them to another level, we do ourselves great service to ourselves. We do a disservice to ourselves across the board when we don't do that. And there's some political ramifications to that. We have a lot of political might, but we don't have what I consider to be political might when it comes to business. We're,
Yeah.
we're lacking in that. Hispanics do a much better job
Yeah.
when it comes to empowering black businesses in comparison to African Americans. That's just a fact. Look at the numbers.
Well, no, they do a better job when it comes to empowering Hispanic businesses
Yeah, right, right.
compared to African. Yeah. I just want to
Yeah.
make sure somebody's not going, wait, what?
And
So,
let me give you another statistic, and I won't stray too far from it.
yeah.
This is not a tactic, this is just a fact. We have 34 black legislators in the state of Illinois.
Hmm.
Hispanics have what, 22? I think
Mm.
no, 18 if I'm not mistaken. So we have just about double the amount of legislators. We have to connect more, make business a priority, and start funding people, giving money to people who don't embrace the black business agenda. Like the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. I'm a part of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. They give money to people who carry the water for them on Capitol Hill. So we strayed a little bit, but coming back to this, all ties into what I believe my mission is as a chamber president is to strengthen black businesses, strengthen black. And if I strengthen black businesses, I strengthen black people and I strengthen black communities. And that's what I stand before Almighty God. I want to know that I've done my job even if people may not understand it. This is a mission for me is to help grow black businesses.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, what do we do as far as our legislators, as far as those that are in charge of the purse? Do we build relationships with their committees as well, or How do we do that? Because I actually interviewed Illinois State Senate LG Sims. And I feel like, this is a great opportunity for the community to come out and see who does what. I want to start this conversation of civics. Who do you call when? Who is the person you need to build relationships with? Maybe some people don't know how and who to build relationships with. Help me.
Well, I think that knowing who controls government spending or has some input to that, and the budgeteers are very important to how money is spent. There's still veto power in the governor's office and other things that can happen. We need to understand the process. If we understand the process, then we know who to hold accountable. But if you don't understand the process, you can't. It's like procurement. If you don't understand procurement, you can be uh, complaining to one part of the agency that has no
That
control over what's happening, and you're just wasting time. If you understand, most politicians don't control procurement. You got to understand what Hispanics understand. Hispanics groom people coming out of procurement to become legislators, so they have a real insight. We don't have. I don't think we have anyone that I'm aware of at the state legislative side who's come out of procurement. People like, who understand procurement, like Charlotte Roberts, Malcolm Williams, all these people understand procurement. And if they were a legislator, they would know they would know all the ins and out and where to put people at to make sure that where the decision is really made. Because sometimes it's not at the director's level. Sometimes it's at the people who are making the decision about who wins that procurement or not. We have to become smarter about that.
yeah.
And like I said, but I want to get back to the conference because this is a broad conversation. But I want to
Well,
focus.
wait. I know we got to get to the conference, but I have a question. What mistakes keep small black contractors from becoming primes? I know somebody's waiting on that answer.
Well, the best I would say, and there's a number of things, LaDonna. I wish I could say this one thing, but one of the biggest issues that they have is about making sure that they're ready. Making sure that they can estimate right. Because there's three parts of estimating. There's material costs, equipment costs, and labor costs, and in that is your profit margin. If you don't understand how to estimate, you may bid on some business, you may win it,
Hmm.
but you may wish you had never won it because now you can't deliver it. And then you're a default prone contract. You build a bad reputation. So that's one of the things. And we're going to have a piece that's going to be addressing at the conference that in procurement. So let's talk about that for a moment.
Okay.
We're going to have this conversation instead of being a panel where you have the tollway, IDOT, Capital Development Board. We're going to have a conversation that's going to include them, but it's going to include 15, 20 other people. We're going to have top prime contractors who are white. We're going to have top black contractors like Boa Construction Company. We're going to bite your jama. We're going to have smaller contractors. We're going to have heads of agencies in this space. And we're going to invite the CPO from the Capital Development Board. And we're going to have a broad conversation on how to attract more African Americans into the business of construction. But also, we're going to talk about how do we grow and build more capacity because construction jobs do create opportunities. So this is going to be a different type of environment, not just one talking head. And we're going to have two moderators. We're going to have a female and a male moderator for that period of time. And it's going to be like the Phil Donahue and Oprah Winfrey together. And we're going to delve into the
You
conversation.
just told your age, Larry.
I know. That's fine. Yeah, I look for my age.
You look good for your age.
Okay,
Keep it
well, thank
going.
you. Well, that's why I love you, LaDonna Raeh. But this is going to be a different environment, guys. That you're going to be able to get input from everybody, and out of that, we're going to walk away with some objectives because we're going to have everybody at the table.
Hmm.
We're going to do the same thing on procurement, on professional services, where we're going to have the person who's the head of Do It, different heads of agencies from procurement for Department of Correction.
Hmm.
You're going to have different people. We're going to invite Charlotte Roberts with the city of Chicago. And we're going to have two different people, but it's going to be about 15, 20 people engaged in the conversation. We will introduce everyone. We'll have some ground rules, but we're going to have a conversation about procurement. We're going to invite the CPO, Ellen Daly, and request that she be there. Not optional. She comes to the Hispanic event. She better come to our event. Okay, no questions asked. We will take issue if you don't show up. Okay, we're going to have all the organizations, and every organization will be participating in that. We're going to be reaching out to the head of the BLC to make sure she's moderating one of those particular panels. So we're going to be doing some things that's a little different. We're incentivizing companies with triple the points if you do business with people at the conference. We're tracking them so we can give them an award based upon performance. That's a little different. And then we're having the broader conversation with all the decision makers in the room at the same time, having the conversation about how do we improve one side construction, the other side professional services. That's going to be a real, I mean, you don't want to miss that conversation because it's going to be an incredible conversation where you're going to have people who know what they're talking about, who can challenge each other. It's not going to be a hostile environment. There'll be a very productive environment to hear from everyone from different angles. And from that, we want to walk away with something that makes us stronger and better with an agenda that helps move us forward. And that's going to be pretty exciting, in my opinion, Ladonna.
It is exciting. As a matter of fact, Al Stone says we jumped from 20 calls a month to 70 calls through a contract in July. So contracts are very, very powerful. He also said, how can you build a brand on cheaper labor and underbidding services just to be seen? Ooh,
Mhm.
yeah.
And,
Okay.
one of the things we also going to highlight is that we're doing some exciting things from a chamber position where we don't want business to be out there struggling themselves. And we know the cost of, sometimes you got the idea, you got everything, but you just simply don't have the money. And to hire an executive assistant may cost you $60,000, $70,000, and you ain't got it. You need it, and it would help reduce some of the stress and pain because you're doing too many things. You're supposed to be making it rain, but you're shuffling the papers, you're doing the invoice, you're doing all those things that you have
Hmm.
to do in order to get things done. We have a gentleman who's created one of the most profound systems that's going to come in and talk about how we hire outside, how we hire our brothers in Africa for as little as $1,300 a month, and they work 40 hours a week, and they are degreed, ability, can speak English, all the things you want. It allows you to grow your revenue so you can hire more people in the U.S. So, my piece is that there's no growth if you're dead. If you die and you haven't grown your revenues, then we all lose. But if we can help you get talent now, and I'll point this out to everybody, this is something that corporations have been using for decades, hiring from India all around the world, hiring talented people, but at a cheaper price. And now cheaper sounds
Don't
wrong.
say cheaper.
Yeah, cheaper sounds wrong, but give me another word for it then, Ladonna.
It's more economical
More economic. Okay, I
and
like
budget friendly.
that. And budget friendly. It
Hmm.
allows you to grow and scale, and then you can come and hire those who you have because you got enough revenues by which to do that and to hire. But if you're not scaling and growing your business, and we surely can look at our numbers and say, "God, guys, we got a problem. This is an emergency. This ought to be at the top of everybody's agenda because as black business goes, so do black communities. And if we don't get that yet, if black politicians don't understand strengthening the chamber is strengthening your hand because black business is more successful contributor, they give you your freedom so you don't have to depend upon someone else. You can't get freedom if everybody else is funding you and and you don't have the ability to get money from your own people. Grow black business and create your own economic freedom. That's my conversation. I'm sticking to it, and I know I'm right about it. Okay.
You are right about it. And also, we need to make sure that everybody knows that they can go to our website, ilbcc.org, and get registered. The conference is September 9th through the 10th. Now, I don't want you guys to feel like, okay, wow, this is just another conference. I said that earlier. But here's the thing, everyone that Larry knows is in his head. Okay. But when these conferences happen, at least a third of them show up. So with that being said, everybody that comes to the conference, if you know how to not just network, but build relationships after you network, then those are the people that separate you from the was and the has and the will be. Okay, so though that's important. I know I did a welcome session last year where Atiba and I talked about the importance of networking and how to network. So if you bring, stacks of business cards, look, I design and print those, but I use a QR code on my phone. So when I meet someone, I have four different QR codes. One for me on the radio station, one for me as a mother, one for me in my business, and one for me with the chamber. So depending on who I meet and for what, I share that QR code and it gives them that information and it also sends me theirs if they opt in. And once they opt in, I have to be intentional and say, hey, it was nice meeting you, Robert or Glenn Rogers, right? It was nice meeting you at the conference. And let's get in touch. Let's talk Monday. And that way it's a reminder in my own device. And I'm not left with a bunch of business cards that I'll never get to. The other thing is shaking people's hands, talking to them, not taking up too much time. I've seen people waiting to talk to the keynote speaker, and that's because someone is hogging that time. That is not your moment. Okay. You introduce yourself, you talk about how you can make business together and get the contact information and move on. They don't need to see pictures of your grandkids and your dog because there are other people waiting to do the same thing. And the more businesses that are successful, even from a conference, the more we can continue to help each other. I just had to put that out there.
Hey, absolutely. Hey, I'm going to do this real quick, LaDonna. On the following day, you've got the first day we have the workshop dealing with matchmaking. After that, we have a series of mini workshops, capital access, and then we have the broader conversation with the industry and both sectors, the construction and the professional services. And there's going to be the who's who. It's not going to be one or two people talking. It's going to be like a town hall meeting and conversation. That's going to be absolutely stunning. And we're going to walk away with some clear objectives. We're not going to be there just talking. And we're going to transition into our welcome reception where the mayor of Chicago, I think, may be attending that session, and we'll have other CEOs of companies like Allwyn and Wind Creek Casino, and others will be there. Ballets. There's so many different parties who are looking for us to connect with them and want to connect with them.
And you won't find them in Walmart. You're not going to just
You're
be
not,
in line and you
you're
happen to
not
have a
going to find them.
conversation.
You're not going to find them at your office
No.
where you're shuffling papers. You want to go where the opportunity is, where you can make a difference. The
Hmm.
following day, we have breakfast, and we're going to have a VIP breakfast, and then we're having after that um, we're going to have one of the NBA All Stars and John Rogers, who will be talking.
Which one? Is he tall?
He's so I can't divulge his name until we sign off on something here real quick, but we're going to talk about him next week. Okay.
Yeah.
And after that, we're going to have the conversational energy. The grid was never designed to handle all of the energy it needs out of the grid. The grid is vulnerable at some level. We're not building more nuclear plants, and the demand of energy from technology, data centers, from electric vehicles, it's a serious challenge. What's different in the U.S. and Illinois? There's some differences. We're going to be inviting Doug Scott. I'm putting it on the air. Doug Scott, we want you there because we're going to have the energy companies there to talk about what's happening in Illinois when it comes to energy, how we deliver, how we get it, and more importantly, how do we participate in the opportunities, whether it be data centers, whatever the case may be. That's going to be a real conversation. Those companies spend a lot of money. They do a lot of procurement. You got Constellation, you got ComEd, you got Nicor Gas, you got Ameren. You don't have People's Gas, but you have the other for people, the other energy companies
Oh,
that will
that's
be
good
there.
because I owe People's Gas some money. Um, so so how do we get people fired up more than what you've said? I know this has been more of a conversation,
Yeah.
but I want to see you out there. Like I'm going to be there. And I know that's no big deal, but I want to see the black businesses that we talk about. I don't want to hear about them. I
Right.
want to see them. I want to meet business owners, okay? Because
Hmm.
I'm in media and I want to shake hands and not necessarily kiss babies, but I definitely want to network with business owners when you come out to these things. I'm able to put you in my Rolodex and we can figure out what your community engagement plan can be, what your marketing plan can be. Because I talk to the people Monday through Thursday and I don't have a lot of, I slim pickings when it comes to our black businesses. I need to know who they are, Larry.
Well,
I want to
absolutely.
see you.
Absolutely. And I say, if you come to the conference, something good is going to happen. Guys, this is an imperative for Black people. If you hear me and understand this, we have to do a better job of strengthening Black businesses. This is a capitalistic society. If you have money, you have ability to influence things. No money, no mission.
No money,
And
no
never
honey.
forget that. Yeah, no money, no honey, no money, no mission. It's important for us to grow back. There's nothing more important. And I think it was Robert Blackwell who made the comment, and I steal it often. So I'm gonna give Robert credit for it. He said, the only way from poverty to prosperity is through entrepreneurship. And guys, there's nothing more fundamentally important in capitalism in America than economic sovereignty. And you can only get that when we control our own economic destiny by creating our own wealth. That in a nutshell, guys. This is where you want to be. You want to be here because this you're going to find people of like mind who are going to be telling you stories about the contracts they won and the impact they're having in other organizations who are doing great work also. It's not just the chamber doing great work. There are a lot of different organizations that are going to be coming together, convening to make sure that the story of Black business is told and it's told clearly and distinctively. And you're gonna see a lot of who's who, a lot of Hollywood stars are coming. I'm not we're gonna save some of this for the other major dignitaries who are coming for later on in the show. But guys, this is gonna be the place to be.
All right. Well, you know what time it is, Larry. I'm so excited about the conference every year, but this year in particular. But I want to make sure that before you go, guys, or before we go, that you found today's conversation valuable. Be sure to follow, like, and share this episode and register for the conference. Don't just be a part of the conference in your head. Register for the conference. Join us September 9th through the 10th at Wind Creek, Chicago Southland. That's the casino, guys. You know you've been there for the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce annual conference, No Longer Divided. To register, you'll go to ilbcc.org and secure your place among the leaders, innovators, and change makers who are shaping the future of Black businesses. No Longer Divided, Larry, it's not just a theme, it's a movement. We
It's a
look forward to
movement.
seeing you there. I can't wait to see you there. I can't wait to be on the panel or moderated, of course. Guys, we'll be back next Saturday. I think you've got a Uber surprise for us next week, right? But
Yeah,
are you getting
yeah,
in on this Destiny Child thing or what? We not
yeah.
uh,
We're in big time.
yeah. I
We
talked to
need.
Matt the other day. Matthew
I know.
knows.
I heard you. I heard
Yeah.
you. And I talked to him a couple weeks ago, and we're excited about our political pack. We didn't mention our political pack, Robert Johnson, who's the president of the political pack. We're going to be making some exciting announcements at the conference, guys.
Well,
That from a political strategy side, it's going to be a game changer.
awesome. All right, guys. Robert, you can sign us off, but we can keep talking where we are right here on YouTube and Facebook. Guys, we'll see you next Saturday if you're listening on WVON. Bye-bye for now. All right. Okay, we're gonna continue this because you got more to say.
Absolutely.
Follow us across the socials at The Wake Up Show Chicago. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. It's The Wake Up Show every Saturday morning at 9, where change begins with every sunrise.
Welcome to the Wake Up Show, Chicago. Chicago.
All right. All
Okay.
right, Larry. So, you said something about you were talking about what were you talking about? I'm sorry, I had to sign us off.
We were talking about LaDonna, all the other key people that we're going to be talking
Yeah.
about in the very future who are coming. But I think the real heart of this conversation is that this is a place that you want to be
Mm-hmm.
because we understand the importance of Black business where it is today and where we need to take it. And we assembled some great people that can help you do that. And you want to be here because if you think in terms of what it costs to be at our conference, you just can't beat that. When you talk about $375
How much are
and
the tickets? Do you know
for which for the
for the conference?
$375.
That's it.
That's it.
I thought we were going up.
We didn't. We kept it low. We kept it. People said, Larry, I paid $1,200, $1,500 for the
Right.
conference, and it doesn't have half of what you guys bring to the entertainment and all the other things. This is absolutely a bargain. And if you're not really understanding that, then you're missing out. We're going to be giving away some tickets too. With
Mm-hmm.
Jesse Thomas, my Mentex is going to be
Mm.
donating several tickets, so we're going to do that next week, LaDonna. Make sure that we don't forget that we make the announcement.
So
It's
I know Jesse's watching. So Jesse, don't forget to give us those tickets
uh,
and give us two extra ones for me. No, I'm just.
but Jesse is a great supporter of the chamber.
He
Does
is.
great work, and we've been fighting with Jesse for Jesse with the Illinois Department of Revenue, with the department, with the tollway, and we're going to continue to fight for him until because Jesse is one of the few brothers who can do debt collection. And when we come to state revenues, they're normally pursuing some of us to pay that debt. We need to have him participating. There's never been a black person with the Illinois, and I told that to a number of people, the CEI Commission and other people, that that's not acceptable. That we can do a better job than this, and that we're not doing our job, and we're going to continue to advocate on his behalf to make sure that Jesse, one, he deserves a business because he is a competent business person that brings value back to the community. If Jesse
Mm-hmm.
grows, guys, we all grow and benefit from it. Black politicians benefit from it. So if we make Jesse a multi-millionaire, because there are white guys who are making
Mm-hmm.
millions of dollars at the same time. So we want to make sure that we're supporting people, supporting the agendas, and supporting our people in the right fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be important for us. The other side I think that's important about the conference is that it's really all about the ability for us to network and build relationships. You ought to come looking to build two or three relationships that you didn't have with someone that can help you. And the networking is the utmost importance because you find people all the time, Madonna, that you meet and they know someone that you really need to meet. And may not be that person, but they turn you on to someone else that they met that you would meet, and then all of a sudden something else has happened.
Oh, you
But
know what? We've got some confusion. Remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the conference that's going on August 19th. That's a separate conference in Atlanta. Is that Atlanta?
yeah, that's our national conference
Yeah, the national conference, Vincent, if you can hear us, that is for the August 19th through the 22nd. That's going to be happening in Atlanta. And then we have the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce conference here in Illinois, which is Hazel Crest. That's going to be the 9th through the 10th
of September.
of September. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So we're supporting both conferences. It's going to be off the chain, both places, and it's going to be great. We got our partner, Supreme Solution. He's actually here in Peoria doing some major networking here in Peoria. Guys, this is such a incredible opportunity for all of us to come together and have great time and make money and continue to build advocacy. You know, there's so much that we do and so many people that we help, and there's so many more we can help um, that we haven't helped. That this conference will kind of unveil itself to you. So if you got friends, you got people, invite them to come out to the conference down. It is really the place to be. And I'm just saying that because I'm Larry Ivory and I'm the president of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. If I was a business person and if I knew what I knew now and said, where would I want to be on September the 9th and the 10th? Anywhere in the world, where would I want to be in Illinois? And if I was unbiased and I had an out of body experience, I would want to, if I knew what I know, I would want
Mm-hmm.
to be there because that's where the opportunity is. That's where I'm going to meet some incredible people, incredible business people. I'm going to learn some things I didn't understand about procurement, about construction. I'm going to get something that I couldn't have, that I couldn't have gotten if I had stayed at home, if I was in my office. Guys, it's the place to be. I'm just telling you, it's really the place to be.
I love it. Well, I tell you, I'm excited to see everybody. I'm always excited to see the businesses come out because I don't know if everyone knows. Or some most people that know me. They understand that I am about black business, black community, black family, and it's in my veins. So when I see us get together, like for instance, when I went to the Obama Center on Media Day, I was so excited because it was a bunch of us and we were
Hmm.
smiling and treating each other with respect and love and excitement. I love those type of environments. When we're trying to get over on each other, trying to take more for ourselves than you can get just to make sure we got enough. To me,
Hmm.
that's slave
Or,
mentality.
or worse yet, LaDonna, downgrading another organization
Yeah.
only because we think it lifts us up.
Right. That's
Yeah,
the
I'm
only
good.
way you can do it. That's the
Yeah.
only way you think you can do it. You are nothing short of a slave master himself. But when I see us come together for the purpose of elevation and encouragement, moving forward and success, I get excited. It's you get a whole different energy from me. And I can really appreciate that at the conference. That's how we met. I'll never
Yeah.
forget the first day we met. I was there as a volunteer at the
Yeah.
table with
Yeah.
my I had a printing company and everything, but Tina Augustus invited me out. She was at that time she was my
Much love.
sister-in-law.
Hey,
Yep.
much love for Tina Augustus for introducing. See what I mean? It says I didn't know LaDonna, but I knew Tina,
Yep.
and Tina led me to LaDonna.
Yeah.
And see, that's the beauty
That's
of
networking.
connectivity. That's networking, and then that's relationship. The
It is.
networking then develops into relationships, and you find people that you care about, that you want to help, that want to help you,
And I
and
get
anything.
protective of you, Larry. I get protective of because you think you sometimes you think I don't like people. Okay, it's not that I don't like them because see, I'm always smiling and bubbly and full of energy. But when I look pensive, it's because I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure out how close you trying to get and for what. So
Hmm.
I do get that way. I'm that way about mine. Okay.
Yeah, right.
And I think of you as an uncle, you and your wife. She's like my aunt. She's more like a sister though.
Mhm.
She's more like my sister because we're
Right,
both taking care of our dads. But yeah,
right. Yeah, that's the beauty of, again, networking to relationships.
yeah.
And now, what's really important when you call me up and say, Larry, do you got the phone number for this person, for that
Oh
person?
man, you like my
You know,
producer, my secret producer. Don't tell nobody, Larry. I don't need nobody to
but
know
see,
how I got the president of this and that.
yeah, but see, the beauty of that is that everything I got, you have now.
Yeah.
If I need to call someone, if I need to call a Richard Bork, I need to call
Mm-hmm.
someone, I need to talk to President Preplico. It's
Mm-hmm.
all about us connecting together and helping each other. I don't want to see anyone do bad. I want to see everybody do well. For those who are really care about the state of America, the state of Black people, I'm trying to uplift you. Our young brothers and sisters, some of them are struggling, some of them are doing well. Not all of them are struggling, but we got to do a better job of connecting them to the opportunities so they can see the incredible uh, vision of hope and their legacy, their legacy. I mean, you know, I look at all the things that Black people have done in this country, going back even way before slavery to ancient Kemet and our creative geniuses that the Greeks clearly talked about. Everything we got from from Africa,
Mm-hmm.
from Black people. We just adopted it,
You
and
mean everything they stole?
everything they stole, they stole. But we were
They
so
stole
willing
us.
to, yeah,
They mm-hmm.
we were so willing to give our see. We didn't hoard our information and protect it. We gave it to everybody. We
Yeah.
wanted everybody to have something that would make their life. It helped, in Spain to show the Caucasian people, how to bake because at that time they didn't. The Moors brought so much light, technology, libraries, and everything to Spain. They never give them credit for it, but everybody in history knows that the Moors ran Spain for over 800 years.
They know it too.
Yeah, they never want
Mm-hmm.
to. They never say it. So
Mm-hmm.
this is about Black economic sovereignty, and you can only have sovereignty when you have economic independence.
Solidarity.
Yep. And when we stand together, that's the great getting up morning for me. When Dr. King said, you know, we made, I've been to the mount and I looked over and I've seen the promised land. So I'm
Yeah.
not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man, for my eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He was talking about the vision of Black people that would be treated fairly, when we would stand up and do what we want to do. That was his vision. He said he looked over, he saw the promised land.
Mm.
And I'm my job to fulfill that promised land for more Black people economically. And that's really our mission. I mean, that's really what gets me my blood pumping. That gets me excited. And believe me, in this position, if you ain't driven by some passion, ain't no way you can stay in this business as a Black Chamber of Commerce leader, because everybody wants to take a shot at you. Everybody wants to
Mm.
overthrow you. Everybody wants to get you. White people want you out of there because they see you making good things happen.
I think they just don't want to see black joy. You ever thought
I
about
think
that?
I
Like
think
they
that's scary. I think that's scary to them. And I heard a woman say, who was white. She said, they do not. He said, when you sit in the presence of real Black people, you feel, as a white person, you feel
small.
small. She
Yeah.
said, you cannot deny the energy
Right.
they bring to the table. He said, you have to be disconnected not to understand
Mm.
what they bring to the table. And
And that's why they want us to not understand what we bring to the table.
right, right, absolutely. So, guys, this LaDonna is our mission. What we're doing. This conference really uh, is a place, like I said, you really don't want to miss this. Don't do yourself a disservice by not taking time to come and get registered for this conference. You are doing yourself a disservice. I don't care if you're not into Black business, but being around Black people, learning and being able to pass information on, you owe that to yourself. You owe that to other people to come and participate in this event.
So take your red bottom layaway money and get you a ticket to this conference instead. Okay?
Absolutely. Hey, and I'm going to highlight a couple things real quick. I had, because we want to talk about I mean, at church we call it testimony. You give your testimony.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that we've done that's impacted so many lives. Just recently, we had one of our members who he had been trying to get certified with the Department of Transportation, and for one reason or other, he just couldn't get it done. Uh, did it twice, was economic disadvantage because of the new rules now, and could not get it done. And he was frustrated. You could tell it in his voice. He was at his wit's end, and he told me about it. And I said, well, let me check on that for you. Let me see, because I knew in my mind. I said, well, what sometimes happens is that you can be a person that someone within an administration don't like. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason may be, you turn them off, and they have their middle management. They're not at the top, but they're middle management, and they can impede your ability to do something
Mm-hmm.
because they're in a position to do it. And you'll never know who that is, because they're never gonna come and say, well, I'm the person that did it to you. They just do it. That's it. Well, what I was able to do is just make the phone call to the chief of staff, tell him I had an issue and that we wanted to help resolve that in a very, partnership relationship type of way. We had a relationship. Him and I knew each other well from CMS and from the BEP Council, so he knew me and I knew him. And LaDonna, it got resolved in a very
Mm-hmm.
short period of time. But
Mm-hmm.
I dare say it's because of the relationships that we build. So we're not just building a relationship with Black people. We're building a relationship with corporate partners that when we call them, they take our phone call. And the incident I told you about the trucker, when I called the president of the company, um, I did not know him, but he knew me. He
Mm-hmm.
said, Larry, he said, because I told him, I said, look, I don't want to escalate this to another level, because here's why, he's Larry, I know you. He said, we go back many years. I know you mean what you say.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such a beautiful thing and the next day, the trucker called me and said, Larry, Man, they called me up and they said that they got a call from the president of the company. Of the guy who said, we don't care who you call, what you do. They got a call from the president and said, guess what? Fix that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Ivory called me. That's good enough. The Black Chamber, that's good enough. See, that's the beauty of what it's not power for ourselves, it's power for our people. And when you have a respectable organization who's been fighting the fight, who's unvarnished and unbought, people call you and they respect you. You can make a
That's
phone
right.
call to make something happen.
I often tell my sons that people treat you based on how you treat your brother.
Mm,
So if you treat your brother with love and respect and protection, people will respect you for being that brother. But if you throwing him under the bus and trying to
they,
step on his head to get higher just a foot, then people will treat you that way. They won't trust you. So the same thing goes for the chamber. When you say unbought, unbiased, I love that. You've been accused of being a Republican. I say accused because it was incorrect.
mhm.
But that's not what this is. That's not even who you are. Can you explain that and then we'll close?
Well, I think that there's a dog whistle when people want to stop you or undermine you. They teach people how to use it. Like Trump uses the dog whistle. He'll say something that he know who would inflame his followers. It's a dog whistle. It makes them attack. When you
Mm-hmm.
say that I'm a Republican, you can justify not doing something for the chamber because he's a Republican. But
Mm-hmm.
when you take a look at the voting record, you say, wait a minute, how could
Right.
that be true? I mean, you're going to call him a dog, but he's a lion. Now, I can look and tell he's a lion, but you call him a dog. you know, it ain't really true because when I roar, you can hear me roar. It ain't a bark. That's a roar. That's a lion roar. That's not a bark. That's not a dog barking. So we have to be aware that our enemies want to divide and conquer us. And that's the way they divide and conquer us. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you're doing something that empowers Black people, the other side, who are insidious and very mean spirited, they want to keep you in a position of weakness. It's like sometimes people you can be in a relationship, and people want to keep it where their wives don't know no one, so they had no relationships. They got nothing but them, and they make them dependent upon them, so they can't go anywhere. They can't leave anywhere. But that's not who we are. That's not who we want to be. This is what the system wants us to be. We're not going to be that. We're going to break the shackles. We're going to do what we do well, and that's what we're doing, LaDonna. I'm excited about my life. I'm excited about the relationships I built throughout my life, and one day this life will end, and somebody
Mm-hmm.
else will step in. But we got to prepare our future generation and pour into them so that they can take over the helms and take us to a whole different level at the same time.
That's a great way to close, Larry. I tell you what, this has been spectacular. Our first podcast after the show. And we will be doing these time permitting. And I really appreciate you taking that time with us, with your audience, and with me.
Thank you, Madam LaDonna Raeh.
Of course, of course. All right, guys, we will be back next Saturday. Don't forget, absolutely get your tickets. And if you do, and when you do, hit me up. You can send me an email. LaDonna Ray, or no, that's not it. It's L Ray at digital. What is my email? Sorry. I got confused, right? L Ray, because I have VON one too, but L Ray at raydigital.com. And Ray is spelled Raeh. We want to hear from you. But if you want to reach out to the chamber, email info at ilbcc.org and your email will be routed to the right person. So, because we actually have a staff. I love my staff from Nigeria. Look, she's so efficient. Her name is Jessica. She likes to be called Jessie. So shout out to Jessie. She's only been with me for a couple of days. So my onboarding, and I want to share this too. It's really important. Anytime you hire someone in your company, they have to learn your business. Don't just send them to the website and say, okay, they should be up to speed. She needs to know everything that she needs to do. And if you don't know what you do in your business, you can't tell somebody else to do it because you just don't know. Luckily, I started writing down all of the things that I do and I categorized them. I used AI to help me categorize them, which was a big help. And then I was able to pass those duties on to her. So she is learning, getting her sea legs. And that's who you guys will be talking to when you call my business at 312-722-6886. But yeah, Jessica, I love her. She
Dr.
speaks,
Jessica.
yes, she speaks really. I don't want to say she speaks well and sound like with the white people, but but she speaks really well.
Hey, much love to you, Jessica.
Yes, absolutely. All right, that's it. I'm out. I see you done turned your camera off. That means you out too.
Yeah, I'm out.
All right, guys,
Bye
we're
bye.
gone. Bye bye for now.